Hello everyone, my name is Shane Kidwell, founder of Dwell Mortgage, and I'm honored to welcome you all to this year's Seattle Brain Cancer Walk. I lost my dad, Walter Scott Kidwell, to brain cancer when I was 7 years old, and today marks my firstborn daughter's 7-day birthday. Losing my dad affected every aspect of my childhood and even into my adult life. That's why my family and I have been participating in the walk for so many years, and why I'm thrilled to be a premier sponsor of today's walk. By fundraising and walking, we all have the opportunity to support brain cancer research and clinical trials at the Ivy Center. Let's help make more survivors so that no more sons and daughters have to lose someone to this terrible disease. Thank you all for being here today and for getting us closer to a cure. Enjoy the walk.
Good morning and welcome everyone. Welcome to the 14th annual Seattle Brain Cancer Walk, benefiting the Ben and Catherine Ivy Brain Tumor Center. My name is David Silverman, and I am absolutely thrilled to be with you here for this morning's ceremony. Today, we are here to celebrate this incredible community. Every walker, every fundraiser, the survivors, the patients, the families, friends, neighbors, and colleagues who all join together to support each other and propel us towards a cure. I've been emceeing this walk for, I've lost track, I cannot remember. But every year, I'm astounded and inspired by the love and caring that pours out of this community. If it's your first time at the walk, you share a bond with everyone around you. You share a common mission, and you're welcomed as family. I'm sure many of you, like me, wish we could all get together at the Seattle Center this year so we can see and talk to and hug each other just like we used to. See old friends. Hopefully, we'll be able to do just that for the 2022 walk. I am keeping my fingers crossed. In the meantime, we at the Ivy Center are so moved that you haven't let this pandemic stand in the way of your commitment to the walk. In fact, since the walk began in 2008, this community has raised, drumroll please, over $6.6 million. And every penny has gone towards research and clinical trials to improve treatments for brain cancer. Your passion for our collective mission is the reason that we can continue to invest in research. It's the reason that we are on our way to finding a cure, and we could not do it without each and every one of you. But don't take my word for it. To tell you more about how the funds you raised are being put to work, please welcome the Gregory Foltz, MD, Endowed Director of the Ben and Catherine Ivy Center for Advanced Brain Tumor Treatment, Dr. Charles Cobbs.
Brain cancer is ready for a breakthrough. Day after day, here at the Ivy Center, that's what we're working towards. A breakthrough that will change the way we fight brain tumors. A breakthrough that will save lives. Over the last decade, immunotherapy, which is fighting cancer using the body's own immune system, has revolutionized the field of cancer medicine. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet for brain cancers like glioblastoma, which means we're still reliant on things like invasive surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. But we're on the path toward making immunotherapy a viable option for brain cancer. We've found that a virus seems to be associated with glioblastoma, which means that we can develop a vaccine that can train a patient's own immune system to fight it off. We're engaged in a 5-year plan to do just that. In fact, while we continue to investigate the virus, we're working with a colleague in Australia to start a vaccine trial here at the Ivy Center. And that's not the only part of the game changer we're working on. We know that every patient is different. Every tumor is different, which is why we're developing personalized drug cocktails that respond specifically to each patient's unique tumor. We do that by testing the tumor's reactions to all sorts of medications, many of which aren't even designed for cancer treatment, and seeing what works. We can do that testing, and we can analyze cancer cells for viruses because our research and surgery teams work so closely together. For instance, I will surgically remove a patient's tumor, and literally within minutes, it's at the lab ready for analysis. It's as close as we can get to analyzing cancer cells while they're still inside the body. That's why the Ivy Center is uniquely capable of discovering the breakthrough that's going to change the fight against brain cancer. And that's why I'm so honored to be a part of this walk, because everyone who participates is a part of that work. When you walk, when you fundraise, you fuel our research, and you fuel the hope that comes along with that research. Hope for more survivors, hope for more time with the people we love, hope for less harmful treatments, hope for a cure. It's coming. The breakthrough is coming. And when it's here, you'll know that we couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Well, hello, virtual walkers. I'm Joe Carolus, and usually I get to sing for you at the beginning of the walk and at the big party at the end. But this year, of course, we're doing it virtually. So on behalf of the band and myself, sending you all of our love to Laura's team, to all of our survivors, and to everyone out there for getting involved. Thank you, we love you, and have a great day.
I want to take a moment to recognize the sponsors who have been integral in making today's walk a success. Our lead sponsor, Dwell Mortgage, has been a tremendous supporter of the walk for years, and we are so grateful to have Shane and company play such a big role again in 2021. We also want to send special thanks to our sponsors NovoCure and Wayne's Roofing. The Seattle Brain Cancer Walk is fortunate to have a fantastic partner in Swedish. Their support year after year ensures that every single penny of your donations will be directed to improving survival rates and making progress towards a cure. As always, we want to recognize and thank those of you who went above and beyond with your fundraising efforts this year. Our top fundraisers and teams. If you didn't catch their names in our pre-show, please make sure to view the pre-show video on our landing page to see who received our top spots, and congratulations to all. Finally, a huge thank you to the Seattle Brain Cancer Walk Committee, without whom there would be no walk at all. Thank you for everything you do to bring this community together and make this important event come to life. Today's event is more than a walk. It's a way to celebrate our victories, to strengthen those who are still fighting, and to remember those who we've lost. One way we do that is with our Wall of Honor. I encourage all of you to view our full Wall of Honor video here on our website after this ceremony. For now, I'd like to introduce a volunteer with a very special connection to the Wall of Honor. Please welcome Steve Ogden.
In 2014, my wife Pat started having problems with word recall. Then one day when she was typing a list into her computer, she was making errors and not recognizing them. Shortly after, we found out she had a grade 3 meningioma brain tumor. Days after her diagnosis, she underwent a craniotomy at Swedish Cherry Hill. They successfully removed the tumor, and we were gratefully able to start getting back to normal. In 2015, we signed up for our first brain cancer walk. We were both so touched by what we saw. So many people with a common experience coming together to support one another and help fund research for a cure. The walk was one joyful and positive outcome from an otherwise dreadful disease. We came back year after year. We started the team Pat's Peeps and brought more and more family and friends along with us, including Pat's new friend Janice, who also has a brain tumor and asked to join us. Each year we learned more about the research we were funding and felt more and more connected to our fellow walkers and our common goal. About 2 years after her surgery, Pat's symptoms came back. Her word recall issues resurfaced, and the tumor made itself more and more known. She participated in the 2017 walk, her last walk, from a wheelchair. She passed away that December. All of us who knew her were heartbroken, but we returned without Pat for the 2018 walk. And the next year, I began volunteering. I've helped with publicity, I've reached out to offer help and thank other team captains, and I've raised gifts of experience for when the walk resumes in person. But my most important and meaningful volunteer role is at the Wall of Honor. Like many of you who contribute to the Wall of Honor each year, I continue to walk. I continue to work for a cure, because that feels like the best way to celebrate the lives of those we've lost, or to honor those who are still battling brain cancer. But we also know that it's more than that. The people we walk for, the people whose pictures are on our wall of honor inspire us. They drive us. They give us strength to keep working, to keep fundraising, to keep fueling the research that will bring us closer to a cure. Thank you to those who contributed to the Wall of Honor. And thank you to everyone for being part of this community that means so much to me, to Pat, and to everyone who hopes for a cure.
Seattle Brain Cancer Walk. We're gonna miss you, but we're excited to cheer you on from a distance. Fight for a cure. F-I-G-H-T, fight for a cure. F-I-G-H-T, fight for a cure. F-I-G-H-T, fight for a cure. All right, let's do it.
Thank you to everyone who contributed to our Wall of Honor. You just saw a brief version of it, but please be sure to check out the complete video here on our event webpage. I also want to extend a big thank you to the Hazen Cheer and Stunt Squad and Joe Carolus from Generation for bringing a taste of the live walk right here to our virtual ceremony. It's great to have you, and we can't wait to see you do your thing live again next year. As you're taking your walk today, we sure hope that you'll post a lot. You can spice up your pictures with custom photo frames available on the Seattle Brain Cancer Walk Facebook page. Once you do, make sure to use the hashtag SBCW. If your account is set to public, any picture you post with that hashtag will automatically be added to our website. So post away and check the site throughout the day to see how your fellow walkers are all celebrating. We are so fortunate to be joined by an inspirational group of people who embody the word strength. They are, of course, our brain cancer survivors. Just by being here, just by walking, they show us what bravery looks like and inspire us all. They bring hope not only to those who are currently battling, but to everyone who hopes and prays for a cure. And they remind us that no matter what brought us to the walk today, we are here for the same reason: to support research, to bring hope for the future, to create even more survivors. Before our survivor tribute, we're going to hear from some of your fellow walkers: Monica Leggett, Eric Winterroth, and the Bozeman family. 3 different stories, 1 reason for walking.
When I was diagnosed with brain tumor in 2009, my husband Joe was serving with the National Guard in Iraq, and I was raising our 9-month-old daughter, Allie.
My husband Steve was an airline pilot for over 30 years. He was the guy that people went to if they needed anything fixed. If he didn't know how to help at first, it became a personal challenge for him to figure it out.
In 2013, my life was in a decent place. I had just purchased my first house. I was working 2 jobs to save for the future. I had goals and I was gradually achieving them. And then one night in December, all of my plans went out the window.
One day, I was getting ready to take Allie to her pediatrician when I put my hand inside the toaster. I took it out as soon as I felt a burn, but my aunt was visiting. She insisted I tell Allie's doctor about it, and a few days later, my husband was back from Iraq, and I was undergoing brain surgery for an oligodendroma.
He started feeling pains in the back of his head and neck. One night in October 2015, it got so bad he couldn't sleep. He went in for tests, and that's when we found out it was glioblastoma.
The first thing I did when I heard the diagnosis was Google it. Then I told my daughters they were not allowed to Google it. The survival rate for glioblastoma is not very promising. From the very beginning, Steve said he would keep the faith, be positive, and fight hard.
My dad said that all the time. It was his mantra. We even printed it out and we keep it in our family room.
I woke up in the middle of the night and there were paramedics in my bedroom, and I was in intense pain. I had had a violent seizure in my sleep and dislocated my shoulder. The next day, I was diagnosed with a grade 2 astrocytoma in my left frontal lobe. I was told that my 5-year survival rate was 50%. As it turned out, The only motivation that I needed was for someone to tell me that I couldn't do something. And after coming to terms with the possibility of early mortality, I knew I wasn't going to let numbers control me or dictate my life.
The surgery and the 6 months of chemotherapy that followed left me with side effects that still affect my speech, balance, concentration, and energy levels.
Dr. Cobbs performed my brain surgery the next day. Fortunately, the procedure was successful and no further treatment was required at that time. After my surgery, I was laid up at home, unable to do much of anything. I was unable to get back to my life or my goals. I was no longer in a good place, and I was no longer living the life that I had known.
My dad fought extremely hard. He tried everything. 3 separate brain surgeries, a stem cell treatment, even an experimental treatment where he wore a cap to send electric waves through his brain. But unfortunately, none of it worked. He passed away in January 2017.
Nobody should have to lose their dad or their husband or anyone they love to brain cancer. So we did what Steve would do. We looked for a way to fix it.
That's when we learned about the Seattle Brain Cancer Walk and the research happening at the Ivy Center. Research that will hopefully help people just like my dad and families just like ours.
Everyone at the Ivy Center always treated me with respect. And eventually, over the years, I started feeling better. Not perfect, but better.
I knew I couldn't control my diagnosis, but I could control my attitude and try to find some meaning in my personal experience. And that's where the Seattle Brain Cancer Walk came in. This was a way I could help others that may have had a similar life-changing diagnosis. I could use my story and my experience to raise money for brain cancer research at the Ivy Center. And hopefully by doing that, they could save others' lives as they saved mine, or possibly even find a cure.
Since then, fundraising for the walk has become an important part of our lives. We even host an annual golf tournament in Steve's name to help support the Ivy Center.
This walk means much to me and my family. It's a community of people who actually know what this disease is like, which makes me feel seen, heard, and acknowledged. It makes me feel less alone. The walk brings us joy. The walk brings us hope. My life is different now. I still miss the person I used to be, but I know how lucky I am that I'm here, that I get to spend this time with Joe and Allie. And I'm extremely grateful to the Ivy Center and the Seattle Brain Cancer Walk for giving us all hope for a better future.
If we can help one person with our funds, if we can give one family more time with their mom or dad, it will be worth it. Until then, we'll continue to live by my dad's mantra and hope you find strength in it too.
Keep the faith, be positive, fight hard.
The team my family and I started is called Numerical Defiance. It's a reminder that you shouldn't allow numbers to dictate your life. A reminder to be grateful for what you've been given and to find meaning where you can. And a reminder for myself and for everyone who walks and for everyone fighting cancer. Don't ever give up.
The hardest part is watching people have to suffer through it.
The hardest part about having and battling brain cancer is the fear of the unknown.
And knowing that I'm going to be battling this for the rest of my life.
I'm not able to do some of the things that I once loved, but I'm still able to get by.
The Ivy Center has been incredibly passionate.
Being able to provide me a lot of hope and treating me as a person rather than just a cancer patient.
It was the best experience I think I could have expected or hoped for, which is why the Seattle Brain Cancer Walk is so important to me.
This will be our 13th year.
I walk for research. I walk for a cure. I walk for hope.
We walk to raise awareness and to ultimately find the cure.
I walk because I believe in the Ivy Center's mission.
I walk to say thanks.
I walk for my mom.
I'll share your load if you just call me. You better call me. Whoa.
Thank you, survivors, for being here and for inspiring us. And thanks again to everyone who shared their story and words of strength with us this morning. One last time, thank you so much to Swedish for their generous support and to the medical and research team at the Ben and Catherine Ivy Center for Advanced Brain Tumor Treatment for their commitment to improving outcomes for patients with brain cancer in our community and around the world. It's almost time now to get going. Wherever you walk today, whether it's in a park, a hiking trail, or the streets of your neighborhood, be sure to show off your cancer-fighting spirit. Wear your Seattle Brain Cancer Walk flair. Whether that be an event t-shirt, a homemade shirt, or the walk colors, orange, green, and purple. And remember, use hashtag SBCW on all your posts. And just because we walk together today, it doesn't mean you need to stop fundraising. Donations are accepted throughout the year, and every penny brings us closer to a cure. I can't wait to see you in person all next year at the 2022 walk. Oh, I love saying that. Until then, on behalf of the Ivy Center, thank you all for being here today, for walking, for fundraising, and for bringing hope to the entire brain cancer community. We could not do this without all of you. Have a wonderful walk. See you next year.